Yo, what is up guys? Jamie from Jamie's Detailing. Today we are going over my entire shelf of Superior Products chemicals. All the time I get asked by you guys, what are the actual Superior Products chemicals that I carry for my professional detailing business and which ones do I actually use? So today we're going to be going over all the different chemicals that are back here on my detailing shelf, tell you guys which ones I use more than others, and in a future video I'm going to be actually breaking down some of the specific categories that Superior Products has, like their APCs and their wheel cleaners, and tell you guys what the difference is between those ones. But for today's video, we're doing a massive overview on all the chemicals that I carry from Superior Products. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. So we have a ton of chemicals to go over today, and there is no way that I'm going to be able to cover every single little detail of every chemical that is back here on the shelf when it comes to Superior Products. But if you guys want to know every single one of these products in a little bit more detail, and you guys want to know the individual dilution ratios for all the different use cases for each one of these chemicals back here, I actually created a chemical dilution booklet that you guys can download over at jamiesdetailing.com/resources. So I'll leave a link to that down in the description down below so you guys can kind of take your time looking through all the different dilution ratios, off-label dilution ratios, and all the different ways that these products are actually usable. But getting into today's list of all the different chemicals that I'm actually using within my detailing business, first, let's go over Superior Products APCs. Starting off with my absolute favorite APC in the detailing world, guys, that is Pink Perfection by Superior Products. Pink Perfection was one of the original chemicals that had me switch over to the brand Superior Products because it really showed me how efficient these products are, and it showed me how cost effective a lot of these products can be with the dilution ratios. This product in particular, I typically dilute it anywhere between 10-to-1 and 20-to-1 depending on what I am cleaning, and I can do everything from exterior cleaning with bug removal or cleaning tires or whatever other things you would typically use an APC on the exterior of your vehicle, and I can use it on the entire interior detail from the rubbers, plastics, vinyls, leathers, and I can even do some light carpet cleaning with Pink Perfection. So this is one of the most versatile chemicals on my shelf, but there are actually a lot of other chemicals that do a lot of similar things to Pink Perfection. Pink Perfection has been one of the top APCs out of all of Superior Products APCs for me. Now moving on from Pink Perfection, this is one of my newer products on the list, and I just did an entire video on this product, and I am really liking it, but I've really only used it over the winter, and that is Orange Blast by Superior Products. I absolutely love the fact that this is a non-caustic cleaner, and I love the fact that this smells absolutely ridiculously good, and it is really good at cleaning interiors when it comes to rubbers, plastic, vinyls, and all of that type of stuff. And I've heard a ton of good things about using it on the exterior of a vehicle, but I really have not used it on the exterior of a vehicle yet. So this is one of those products that I really want to experiment more with this summer and over the spring and all that kind of stuff. But this has been a really good product for the times that I have used it, and I actually use this product a bunch inside my house for just my general cleaning inside the house. So this is a super good cleaner, very versatile, but I really have not had a ton of time to actually play around with it yet. And so yeah, I'm still kind of experimenting with this one and using it on all sorts of different things, but I have liked it a ton for what I've used it on so far. Up next is Green All from Superior Products. Green All from Superior Products is very similar to Pink Perfection, and you can use it in all of the exact same ways that you guys would typically use Pink Perfection. You guys can use it on the exterior for bugs, you guys could use it as a pre-soak, you guys could use it to clean wheels, you guys could use it on an entire interior of a vehicle minus the windows and LCD screens. You guys can use it on pretty much an entire vehicle. An extremely versatile cleaner, but Green All for me, guys, is a step below Pink Perfection. I like Pink Perfection a little bit more because it actually has a soap additive to it. Green All is the exact same 15 surfactants and chemicals that they put into Pink Perfection, but it is missing that soap additive that Pink Perfection has that I think makes Pink Perfection a little bit more of a superior cleaner to Green All, and I like the cleaning action from it. I like the fact that it bubbles a little bit more, and I can really see where I've been cleaning and all of that kind of stuff. But Green All is probably superior for stuff like maintenance cleaning and all of that type of stuff where you want to clean much faster. So Pink Perfection, super, super great chemical. Green All is almost the exact same minus the soap. So they have the exact same dilution ratios for everything. And a lot of people use them interchangeably. Some people like Green All, some people like Pink Perfection more. So it really just depends on what your guys' own personal preferences. For me, I like Pink Perfection more, and I even stock it in these giant 5-gallon containers. So for me, Pink Perfection out of all the APCs is my favorite, but there is another APC from Superior Products that is probably the most popular out of all the APCs from Superior Products. Muscle Magic is probably Superior Products' most popular APC-D. Now this is their degreaser. This is a heavy degreaser, and with that, this is also their most caustic APC out of their entire lineup. But with that being said, guys, this is a super clean replacement. This is a much stronger chemical than super clean. The dilution ratios are much different. So this chemical is actually a little bit more cost effective than something like super clean because the dilution ratios are a lot more economical. And this stuff is only, I think, around 50 cents or $1 more than super clean, but it actually stretches out way further because of the dilution ratios. So if you guys are using super clean, you may want to replace it with something like Muscle Magic. This, in my opinion, is a much more professional cleaner, has way better dilution ratios that work way better and are much more economical, especially if you guys are doing this as a business. So definitely look into Muscle Magic. It is probably one of the best degreasers out there on the market, but there is a little bit of a risk factor in using something like this, just like using Super Clean or any other heavy degreasers out there on the market. There is a little bit more of a risk factor, which is why I use Pink Perfection so much. The next chemical that I want to show you guys is a chemical that I used a ton when I first started my business, and it is also a chemical that I really, really like using, but because the other APCs that I showed you earlier are so effective, I really stopped using this chemical, or don't use this chemical as much as I think I use this chemical, and that is Firepower by Superior Products. Now, Firepower by Superior Products is a great, awesome chemical. You can clean everything on an interior from the carpets and upholstery, which is actually why I originally bought this chemical. I was using it as a pre-spotter before I would put something down like Zap-It. And this stuff is also pH neutral, which is a huge benefit, and it is very low risk when it comes to an actual interior cleaner, non-caustic, all that good stuff, which is another few of the big reasons why I actually started using this stuff, but I've just found myself not using this still over stuff like Pink Perfection or something like that. So I really just don't use this chemical that much anymore, guys, but I still use it a ton on stuff like rubber floor mats. Because it's non-caustic, it doesn't leave that chalky look to stuff like rubber and all of that type of stuff. So I still use this chemical from time to time, but I really don't use it as much as I probably think that I use it. So I really like this chemical, but again, guys, I don't use it all the time with this huge, vast plethora of chemicals at my disposal. So great chemical. It would probably be a great chemical to replace your Pink Perfection Super Clean if you guys were looking for an alternative to those more caustic APCs and APCD. That was a big part of the list, guys, are the APCs. Superior Products has quite a lot of APCs, and this actually isn't even all the APCs that they have in their catalog, but these are the ones that I primarily use for my business, and these are the ones that I typically am buying more of once I run out. So anyways, guys, you don't need all of these APCs, especially if you guys are just looking to just start a business, or if you guys are just looking to clean your own cars on the weekend. I would go with something more like Pink Perfection. It's a lot safer, and if you guys are cleaning your cars all the time, you probably don't need Muscle Magic or anything like that. So I would stick with something like Pink Perfection or Green All. For me personally, I would stick with Pink Perfection. But moving on, guys, up next we have our actual vehicle soaps. Now, again, Superior Products has a ton of different vehicle soaps, and they all are a little bit different and work a little bit differently. And quickly becoming my favorite out of all of their soaps, guys, is Road Warrior. Now, technically, Road Warrior is a little bit different than just your average vehicle soap. This is also a degreaser, but it highly depends on how you actually dilute this chemical. So you can actually use it 1-to-1 and use it for some heavy degreasing, or you guys could use this, I think it's 60-to-1, but I put it in a foam cannon, and I actually just use this as a pre-soak primarily, and this works phenomenally well as a pre-soak, and then I typically follow that up with a rinseless wash or something like that. But this is my go-to pre-soak these days, is Road Warrior from Superior Products, and typically the only other times I'm using one of the other soaps is if I'm using a soap method of a contact wash, versus what I traditionally am using now, which is a rinseless wash. So Road Warrior is top tier in my mind when it comes to a pre-soak. But moving on from Road Warrior, we also have Dirst Buster. Now, Dirst Buster, I actually use this a ton when I very first started my business, but with Road Warrior, I've been using this less and less over the course of the past year or so. But Dirst Buster is still one of my absolute favorite soaps. I typically am using this in a foam cannon with something like Pink Perfection or Muscle Magic to do stuff like strip washes and all of that type of stuff. Or I use this in a bucket, and when I'm doing a traditional contact wash with a vehicle soap. This is probably my favorite bucket wash soap. And I also use this for semi trucks and stuff like that when I'm doing a bucket wash on a big semi truck. So very, very good soap. It definitely does a great job at helping to pull away and remove all those contaminants off of the paint. And the last of the actual vehicle soaps that I use from Superior Products is Cherry Foam. Now, I really am starting to use Cherry Foam less and less and less because I really am not looking for a high foaming vehicle soap with my current processes and stuff like that. I'm really just looking for something that I know is just going to remove the dirt and contamination. I don't necessarily care about it being the highest foaming ability soap, and for that, guys, that's why I really like Dirst Buster more as a vehicle soap, and I like Road Warrior more as a pre-wash. So I've been using Cherry Foam less and less, and I was primarily just using this in a foam cannon for doing those foam down pre-washes and for refoaming the car again for the contact phase. But again, guys, I've been using this less and less as I've been using less and less traditional vehicle soaps for my contact washes. So I've primarily just been sticking to Road Warrior and following that up with my favorite rinseless wash. Moving on from our vehicle soaps, we have our wheel cleaners or our wheel and tire cleaners. My absolute favorite wheel cleaner has been, since I started my business, Dark Fury from Superior Products. Very, very versatile product. Not only can you guys use it on your wheels and tires, but you guys can also use this as part of your pre-soak stage to actually help remove stuff like road film and all of that type of stuff during your pre-wash. So this is a very, very versatile product. Does not hurt paint. I've heard a ton of people say that this stuff can hurt your paint. I personally have never experienced that, and I use this in the hot summer, all year long, and have never had an issue with Dark Fury leaving any kind of stains or anything on a car. I've even let it dry on the paint on accident before, and I've never had a bad experience with this product. So for me personally, running a professional business, this is a very strong, very versatile, very effective cleaner for cleaning everything from wheels and tires to bugs to road and traffic film. So very, very awesome cleaner. I use it all the time for wheels, tires, and pre-soaking a vehicle. This product right here from Superior Products is called F30 Acid. This is an acid that I not only use on the paint of a vehicle, but I also use it on the wheels of different vehicles, just to help remove that heavy mineral-based contamination that you guys might be seeing on some of your vehicles, hard water spots, stuff like that. F30 acid is an awesome product, but I also have noticed that it is no longer on Superior Products catalog, at least on their website. But sometimes you can still pick this stuff up at your local O'Reilly's. So if you guys can get some of this, I would pick it up now, because I think this is one of those products that Superior Products is actually phasing out or discontinuing. It's at least no longer listed on their website. This is one of their old school acid cleaners. So it works really, really good on mineral-based contaminants and all of that type of stuff, but it is hard to get. So I've kind of just been saving and holding on to this last gallon that I've been able to get, and I'm sure I'll be using it in the future, but it is a really, really good cleaner. But I kind of just been saving it, and I've been using this next one, which is Wire Wheel Cleaner. Wire Wheel Cleaner, this is one of my absolute favorite wheel cleaners. This stuff is super fast working, and it is very low effort, meaning that the chemical does a lot of the work for you guys, and you guys aren't going to be sitting there having to scrub your wheels so much, because this stuff really, really works good at attacking all the contamination and dirt on your wheels, specifically the mineral-based contamination and stuff that's on your wheels, which your wheels see more mineral-based contamination than the rest of your vehicle, especially with the brake dust and all of that type of stuff. So an acidic cleaner is going to work way better than your typical alkaline cleaners. So I love using Wire Wheel Cleaner to, quickly clean wheel faces, inner barrels, all that kind of stuff. You pretty much spray this on, give it a little bit of agitation, and spray it off, and your wheel is going to be looking really, really good. So depending on the actual vehicle and the type of contamination that I'm seeing, if I see that it is very heavy contamination, I'm going straight to the acidic cleaner. However, if it's more of a maintenance detail, has a little bit of brake dust, some stuff like that, and I'm really just knocking off some light stuff, then Dark Fury is for sure the go-to. And sometimes I have to hit it with that 1-2 punch, which is the acid and the Dark Fury. So I use these products kind of in tandem, but it really highly depends on the vehicle and what that specific car is looking for at that time, or what that specific vehicle needs at that time. Now, to kind of go along with our wheel cleaners, but we also use this product on the paint, and that is my iron remover of choice, which is Purple X from Superior Products. That I know of, this is the only iron remover that is dilutable 50/50 on the market, making this the cheapest iron remover that I know of on the market. I think this stuff is around 70 or 80 bucks for a gallon, but if you were to look at any other companies for a gallon of product that's ready to use in the bottle, meaning that you can't dilute it, you're paying a very, very similar price, maybe a few bucks cheaper, but this stuff, you gotta remember, is dilutable 50/50, so you're actually getting 2 gallons of iron remover for the cost of this gallon. So this has been one of my favorite iron removers. Works just as good as any of the other iron removers that I've used out on the market. maybe negligible. There are other products that work negligibly better, but at the same time, guys, this stuff works really, really good, and I can typically use twice as much of this stuff if I wanted to as its competitors, because this stuff is diluted 50-50 and I'm getting twice as much. So I like using Superior Products Purple X just because it's very economical and it works well at removing those iron contaminants. So yeah, Purple X from Superior Products is a great iron remover if you guys are looking for a actual dilutable iron remover for your guys' business. Now, moving on from there, guys, there are definitely some products that I've bought just to try from Superior Products, and that is this next product right here. This is Bugs Be Gone. I really have not restocked on it in a long time, and if you guys actually look at this stuff online, it is a yellowy kind of color, like a neon yellowy green color. But I've actually had this bottle for a long time, and it's turned clear over the past year, I would say. And that's because I really kind of stopped using it after a certain point, because I really primarily am using Dark Fury, Pink Perfection, even Green All at times to remove bugs and stuff like that. And I find that it works dang near just as good as Bugs Be Gone. I would say that this is a little bit better, but I also don't, if I remember correctly, it's also, you don't dilute this stuff. So I kind of feel like I'm just buying a very specialty product for when I'm working on semi trucks that have like the love bugs and all that kind of stuff from traveling cross country. But here in my local area, we don't have like massive bug problems or bugs for like when semis are coming across country and stuff like that, driving through some of these states with love bugs and the other bugs that are big and leave a huge mess on your vehicle. We just don't have that here quite as bad as a lot of other states. So this product right here, guys, this is probably going to be the last of it that I buy, and I'm not going to be restocking on it in the future. I'm going to be using Dark Fury and Pink Perfection primarily for bug removal. Now, moving on, guys, if Superior Products is watching, I'm going to put this one on the list, but it is not Superior Products. It's actually Technician's Choice. But this one I had to add to my list of products because I am waiting for Superior Products to make a chemical similar to this. This is Technician's Choice Tech 582. It's a ceramic detail spray. Basic product, nothing crazy special about it, but it does what I need it to do, and that is to just help finish up and tidy up a car at the end of a detail. So this leaves some protection while at the same time I can touch up any fingerprints, any little marks that I may have missed on the vehicle. This works phenomenal for that, and it leaves a solid bit of protection on the vehicle. I would say you're getting about 2 weeks of protection, but this is just a really, really great product to finish off a vehicle with, and yeah, I wish Superior Products had something similar to Tech 582, but they currently don't. And before I started using Tech 582, I was using Easy Shine a lot, or at least experimenting with Easy Shine. Before I settled on Tech 582, I was really trying a bunch of different stuff, but Easy Shine was an amazing chemical when I very first started my business. Not having that ceramic agent or whatever in here, I felt like when I was working on ceramic coated cars and stuff like that, I was getting streaking with this product. Now, maybe it was just something I was doing wrong, but I actually really, really enjoy using this product. It leaves more gloss than Technician's Choice 582, and it looks really, really good, but it really doesn't leave very much protection at all, and it's really just a gloss intensifier with a very small bit of wax in it. But it does work really, really good when it works, but I was just having streaking problems and other problems with it, so I kind of slowly have stopped using Easy Shine over the past year plus, since I've been using Technician's Choice Tech 582. Now, up next, guys, is one of everybody's favorites, and that is Formula 4 Spray Wax. Now, I gotta be honest with you guys, ever since I started moving more towards a rinseless wash process for my contact phase, it's pretty much made Formula 4 Spray Wax irrelevant, just because the rinseless wash solution isn't going to leave water spots on the vehicle. It's going to leave those rinseless wash water spots that are easily wiped. You can easily wipe those away with a damp towel that's just damp with a little waterless wash or something. Or you can even just wipe it off with your quick detail spray of choice when you guys are following up doing all your final touch-ups on the vehicle. So Formula 4 spray wax, guys, for me has slowly become irrelevant, but that is really just due to my process that I'm now using. But this is an amazing spray wax. You guys can use this right after you get done with your contact phase, pretty much foam down your entire car with it if you guys wanted to use it in a foamer, which is how I primarily use it. When I am using something like this, I still do use this on semi-trucks, by the way, just because it's easy. But you can also use this stuff just in a typical trigger sprayer, pump sprayer. There's a ton of different ways to use this, but I typically dilute it anywhere around 12 to 1 to 20 to 1. So it is a very, very dilutable product, and the biggest part about it is it helps you guys in those hot, hot summer days to not get water spots on the vehicle and actually have enough time to get completely around the vehicle and dry it before you get those water spots. So super nice product, but again, this one is kind of irrelevant due to my current wash process. Zap-It from Superior Products is one of my favorite products from them. It is one of the best carpet cleaners and spot removers or stain removers that I've ever used, and it is just one simple chemical. I don't need to use like a 2 or 3 step process with 2 or 3 different chemicals in order to just remove stains from a vehicle. So Zap-It is super effective at removing stains and does a great job at just kind of refreshing all your upholstery and carpeting inside of your vehicle. And the smell of this stuff is absolutely addicting. It has a super good like lime, lemony lime kind of smell that it is super good smell, guys. And I absolutely love steaming a car with this stuff because it just makes the whole car smell so good while you guys are working. And sometimes a user experience is just as much a part of is just as big as actually having a product that does what it's supposed to do. So not only does this product have a great user experience with that awesome smell, but it also is probably one of the best stain removers that I've used on the market. So definitely pick up Zap-It if you guys are looking for a good carpet and upholstery cleaner. Moving on from there, guys, is Aqua Gloss from Superior Products. Now, this is a leftover bottle from my accident last year. I actually stocked up on this stuff right before my accident, which is why this one is still covered in black stuff, but it is almost gone. There's really only like an inch left in here. But this is my go-to dressing of choice, whether I'm dressing an exterior of a vehicle or I'm dressing the interior of a vehicle. This is a great dressing, has great UV protection, but the biggest reason that I like it is because it does a fantastic job at just repelling dust. So for interior details, this is an awesome product to use. Works great at repelling dust and keeping that car looking fresh for as long as possible. But it's also just a really good dressing to use on leather. You can use it on all your plastics, rubbers, and vinyls. So just an all-around great dressing, and it looks great on tires as well. So great product, and my number one most used dressing. But I've also experimented with other stuff from time to time. Now, I left my detail rig outside, but I do use an aerosol tire dressing, which is called Coverall from Superior Products. This is one of my favorite aerosol-based tire dressings. Very long lasting, leaves a very nice shine to the tires. I think it looks a little bit more classy, a little bit more luxury, a little bit more a little nicer than your average water-based dressing. Now, one product that I have in my detailing rig, which I don't want to open the garage, I got it, you know, at the perfect temperature in here right now. But one product that I left in the detailing rig is actually Superior Products Coverall. Coverall is Superior Products aerosol-based tire dressing. Now, I love aerosol-based tire dressings. I think that they are a little bit nicer. They leave a little bit nicer of a finish, and they overall just look a little bit classier and stuff like that than your typical water-based tire dressing. I think that there's something to those shiny aerosol-based tire dressings, especially on certain cars. Like my Range Rover, I love a nice shiny tire dressing. I don't like it on every car. A sports car, I typically want to use something more water-based. An old muscle car, I'm probably going to want to use something more water-based. But when I'm talking about something like my Range Rover, something like a Mercedes, maybe even a Mercedes or a BMW, there's something about aerosol tire sprays. And I think if you guys are keeping up with the maintenance on your vehicle, you're not going to have any of the downsides that some people may and I don't even know if this is proven, but some people may think that aerosol-based tire dressings lead to dry rot and stuff like that. Not something I have found in my experience, especially if you guys are actually maintaining your cars and cleaning them on a regular basis. So, Superior Products Coverall is an awesome, one of my go-to aerosol-based tire dressings. So, anyways, moving on from there, we got a couple enzyme specific cleaners, guys. And I really only use these enzyme cleaners when I'm working on a vehicle that has some serious smells to it, or they're, you know, heavily stained. And, you know, when we're talking about upholstery and stuff like that, I really only use these when I really need to use an enzyme cleaner. And that is heavy duty enzyme cleaner. The simplest name in the world, and it does exactly what you need it to do. It cleans and breaks down all of those enzymes so that you guys can remove those with your extractor or steamer or whatever it is, and it helps keep those smells and stuff from coming back later on. Now, this guy right here, I never actually used this guy diluted, but I hear some people do use this diluted. But I've always been told to use this stuff full strength, just like Zap-It. So that's typically how I use heavy duty enzyme cleaner. However, if I'm looking for something a little bit more economical when it comes to an enzyme cleaner, then I'll typically use Does It All enzyme cleaner. This enzyme cleaner is dilutable. I think it's you know, kind of mildly dilutable, so I think you can do it like 4-to-1 or something like that. But honestly, a lot of times when I'm cleaning up dirty vehicles, guys, I just pull it out of the bottle, use it full strength, bust out my extractor and get the job done, and it works fantastic for that. So I really like Does It All enzyme cleaner. But again, guys, I don't use enzyme cleaners unless I really see a need to use those enzyme cleaners. Up next, guys, we have our leather cleaner. This is Superior Products leather cleaner. Does exactly what it's supposed to do, which is clean leather, and it actually has a really nice, pleasing leather scent to it, which I really don't mind. But I really don't use this product a lot, guys. I primarily am using Greenall or Pink Perfection for my leather cleaning, anywhere between 10-to-1 and 20-to-1. It's a little bit more cost effective than leather cleaner, and I don't need to double up. I don't think I need to really double up on some of these products anymore. So this leather cleaner in particular, guys, I will probably not be stocking up on it in the future because Pink Perfection does such a good job at cleaning leather, and I feel very safe with it on leather. So I don't feel like I'm really missing out on anything from not having a dedicated leather cleaner, which is why this one primarily just stays on the shelf, guys. I don't use it all the time. Moving on down the shelf, we have a couple more chemicals that I want to show you guys. This one right here is not a chemical that I typically use to detail my clients' vehicles, but it is something that I use all the time on my own vehicles, and that is Superior Products Waterless Wash and Wax. super quick way to clean your vehicle, just kind of freshen it up midweek if you guys are into washing your car that often. But this is one way that I'm able to actually keep my car looking as fresh as it does, a majority of the time, is because I'm constantly wiping it down with stuff like waterless washes, rinseless washes, trying to keep it looking as good as possible. But I also use this from time to time on clients' vehicles, but it's usually just for like that final touch up. Maybe I did like a touch up area. I touched up like a scratch or a small blemish on the exterior of the vehicle, and now I just want to wipe down that whole panel. I might reach for something like this versus a rinseless wash or something like that. It really just depends on what I'm feeling at the time. But again, guys, this is a chemical that I use all the time on my own personal vehicles, and I really like it. And it is super slick, and it has a super good minty smell to it, which is kind of unique. Not a lot of car products out there that smell like mint, and this is actually a really good mint smell. So I like it, and I will definitely keep this guy stocked, especially so I can clean my own vehicles a little quicker during the week and keep them dusted down and all that kind of stuff. Moving on from there, guys, this stuff right here, this is Slick Finish. This is a high gloss, long lasting, easy to use polish from Superior Products. This guy right here, this is actually Superior Products non-abrasive polish. This polish I primarily use as a long-term sealant or a long-term protection for my clients' vehicles. But this also does a little bit of correcting, but it's actually the pad that you're using that's going to be doing a majority of the actual correction. This stuff right here is really just leaving a solid sealant on the exterior of the vehicle, and it has fillers in it. So if you have a client that is looking for the best looking car possible but does not want to pay for a paint correction, they just want to pay for a quick polish job, which I actually have a lot of people that come to me that say, hey, I don't want to spend a lot of money, but I do want my car looking good, as good as possible for the next, 6 months or whatever. I will actually polish out their vehicle with something like this because it has all those fillers and everything else in it. So we can really maximize the time that I'm putting into polishing the vehicle without me spending very much time at all, meaning I can keep it extremely cost efficient for my client, and they're getting up to a year of protection at the exact same time. So this product right here, I use it pretty sparingly, but I do like the way that it finishes out a vehicle, the gloss that it leaves, all that kind of stuff. And it has some fillers in it, so it really just works well. This is A1 Glaze. This is Superior Products kind of finishing polish. This works really good for stuff like show cars and all that kind of stuff. But moving to the Rupes system, I really just don't use some of these polishes anymore. I really kind of stick to the Rupes product line when it comes to all my paint correcting, polishing, all of that type of stuff. But I still have this one on the shelf, so I figured I'd show it to you guys. It works really good for, polishing a vehicle, but again, I have other products that work just as well, and I don't need to buy a giant gallon of it and keep a gallon of it stocked on the shelf. So decent product right here, guys, but it wasn't something that I felt the need to go back and buy again, and I really have a ton of this left over. So yeah, guys, one of those products that I kind of tried, but use other stuff now instead. Up next, guys, is a wax that I've really only used on my personal vehicles, but I was thoroughly impressed with it. But it had one big downside to it, and that's probably the reason that I really don't use it on client vehicles and stuff like that, and that is Infinity Teflon Wax by Superior Products. This one right here, guys, just sparked my interest because it's Teflon. You guys always hear Teflon being the super toxic kind of chemical and all that, so I was like, what is this with Teflon in it? That must be good. But anyways, I had to try this stuff out, and I will tell you guys that this stuff is super hydrophobic, and it is also very slick, as you expect something called Teflon to be. Now, I don't know if there's actual Teflon in here. I think there could be. I have no idea, but it is a very good long-term sealant or long-term wax. But I don't use it on clients' vehicles because it does stain plastic, meaning to get the best results from this guy, you really want to either be very careful when you guys are applying it, or you want to tape off the vehicle, because this stuff will leave those white stains on plastic that are just a pain in the ass to remove. So I don't use this on clients' vehicles. I use this when I'm looking to have a fun afternoon on my own vehicle or my girlfriend's vehicle, and I want a really, really good high gloss finish and long-term sealant, but I also am going to have to put in the work to get that. So awesome sealant, leaves an awesome finish on your guys' vehicle. There is something about wax that is completely different than a ceramic coating. So I still think that there is a huge place in the detailing world for all of these different waxes, specifically Carnaubas and stuff like that. But at the same time, guys, these are a hell of a lot more work sometimes than your other long-term sealants that you kind of apply once and it's on there for the next couple years. So that's why I don't really use Teflon wax anymore, especially on my Range Rover that's ceramic coated and stuff like that. So anyways, great chemical or great product, great wax, but a lot of work to use. The next product on the list, guys, is rubber dressing from Superior Products. Again, this is a product that I really don't have a ton of experience with, and it's been on my shelf for quite a long time, so I'll probably make a decision here soon whether I'm going to keep this on the shelf or get rid of it or use it. But either way, guys, I really don't use this guy because I really just use Aqua Gloss for most of my dressing, and I really don't find myself dressing most rubber things outside of tires. So yeah, I just don't use rubber dressing, specifically this rubber dressing, very often, and I think it is super, super shiny as opposed to Aqua Gloss, which is a little bit more of a matte kind of sheen to it. It doesn't have quite as, it's more of a satin as opposed to this being a high gloss. Another product on my shelf that came in a sample pack that I really just didn't make the time to use is this guy right here. This is Super Shine. I've heard a lot of good things about Super Shine. I just have not used it, and you guys can tell I've had this bottle on my shelf since the accident, which was a year ago now, and I still have not used it. So I should probably get to using these couple chemicals, or I should probably get rid of them, donate them, whatever. But detailing products do have a shelf life, and I don't know if these ones have already passed it. So I need to use them, try them out, and figure out if I like them. But I have a feeling that the other products that are already on my shelf that I use way more often are gonna make me not feel the need to rebuy those chemicals. But moving on. Another wax that I bought from Superior Products with the intention of using it all the time, but now I really have just moved on to other sealants and other ways of protecting the exterior of a vehicle, but that is Carnauba Cream. Again, a super, super good wax. Leaves a decent amount of protection. Honestly, I was getting 4+ weeks out of this Carnauba Cream. This is as pure of a Carnauba Cream as you guys can get, but it also takes a decent amount of work to apply this stuff, and not all my clients are always willing to pay for that extra time needed to get that Carnauba look. So anyways, guys, this is a very good Carnauba wax, but I don't use it all the time because I'm typically just dressing my clients' vehicles with something like Tech 582 or some kind of other sealant or detail spray, or I'm using something from Rupes or whatever the case may be. But I really just don't use some of these waxes that are a lot more effort than a lot of other sealants out there on the market. Now, the very last chemical on our list, which is the one that I'm probably the most excited to show you guys, and that is because I've actually been testing this guy out for the past 2 years, and I think I'm almost ready to give you guys my final opinions on it, but that is this guy right here. That is Superior Products Nano Ceramic Coating. This has thoroughly impressed me so far, guys. This is Superior Products ceramic coating. It is a 3-year coating with 1 coat, or it is a 5-year coating with 2 coats. So I typically, a lot of the clients that I have that are just looking for a simple ceramic coating, I give them a single coat of this guy, and this has been an absolute beast so far. I really have not had any complaints from any of my clients so far that I've actually applied this on their vehicle. And it is one of the cheapest ceramic coatings out there on the market. I think it's like 70 or 80 bucks, and you actually get 60 milliliters, not 30. So you're getting twice as much ceramic coating for the same cost as a lot of these other even reasonably cost ceramic coating companies that produce ceramic coatings. Like, for instance, some of the other ceramic coatings that I use, guys, are like 120 bucks for 30 milliliters. This guy right here is 60 bucks. So I was actually able to start a reduced cost ceramic coating package, an entry level ceramic coating package that is a 3-year coating that uses this stuff that I can make a little bit more of a profit, and my clients are still extremely happy with the hydrophobics that they're getting, the protection that they're getting, and all of that kind of stuff that comes with the ceramic coating. So this stuff right here, guys, thoroughly impressed with it. Give me a couple more months and I'm going to give you guys my full 2-year review with this stuff on my Range Rover. But I'm very, very impressed with this stuff as of now, and yeah, I have not gotten any complaints over the Nano ceramic coating from Superior Products, which is pretty impressive, being a $80 ceramic coating for 60 milliliters. Very, very economical ceramic coating. That is all of my Superior products that I actually have here on the shelf. Now I'm actually getting ready to actually do some direct comparisons between some of these chemicals. So if you guys want to see any comparisons like Green All to Pink Perfection or anything like that, I would love to actually start singling out some of these chemicals and compare them directly against each other and kind of just group them together, like all the APCs. What's the difference between Muscle Magic, Pink Perfection, Green All, Orange Blast, and all the other APCs that Superior Products has? They have a ton of crossover products, and you definitely don't need to have as many products as I carry on my shelf. But I do see quite a lot of different vehicles throughout the year, and even vehicles from all sorts of different regions across America. Like, I have one of my clients who comes here every year from Georgia, and at the end of the detail, I will have red clay all down my driveway. So, it highly depends on the vehicle, what chemicals I am choosing to use for that particular vehicle, what kind of contamination is on that vehicle at the time. I really like to diagnose that vehicle and treat it the way it needs to be treated with the chemicals that are going to work best for that particular vehicle. But anyways, guys, I have a lot more content that I want to put out on Superior Products. So if you guys are loving Superior Products, or if you guys just have more questions on Superior Products, and kind of just give you guys my experience with these products over the past 2.5 or so years that I've been using them full time for my business. Now, if you guys want to see all the different dilution ratios, all the different chemicals that I actually use for my business, you guys can always head over to jamiesdetailing.com/resources. There is a ton of information on that page for you guys to kind of scroll through. Everything from our chemicals to the dilution ratio booklet, so you guys can actually see all the off-label use cases for a lot of these products, and the other products that I carry for my business. Now, that is pretty much all that I had for today's video. If you guys have any questions on Superior Products, I will do my absolute best to answer them down below based on my experience with them. But that is pretty much all I have for today's video, so I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.